Hello, I'm the MLP Reviewer 66, and today I'm going to be reviewing the MLP episode Bats. Okay, first off, before I get this review started, let me just say this. Yes, Bat Fluttershy is the cutest vampire bat ever. It's like, aww, it wants to devour your soul. How cute! But seriously, Bat Fluttershy is the cutest vampire bat ever. With that being said, let me get into the nitty-gritty of this review. First off, the idea of Fluttershy being a half-bat creature is a little weird, but is it any weirder than pretty much anything Discord has done, or the thought of raising the sun and the moon with magic, or a magical pool of water that can turn anyone into or turn any pony from one pony into 1,000? I mean, these are all ideas that have been explored in the series, and it has never been blinked an eye at. It was just like, okay, cool stuff in the series. But for some reason, Fluttershy as a bat was just out of left field for some people. I'm like, I didn't really see anything wrong with this. I was like, yeah, it's cool, and it was a little bit unexpected for the thing, but it was a really cool thing to add. And also the fact that I just love Vampire Bat Fluttershy, if you couldn't have told already. Now there's the thing of Princess Twilight being on Applejack's side with this, instead of teaming up with Fluttershy or trying to find a compromise or whatever. And people have been saying that this is out of character for her, and that she should do like Celestia or Luna or even Cadance would do in the situation and try to find a compromise. I would disagree with this though. I think that she did exactly what her character was supposed to do in this situation. It may not have been the most responsible thing, but it is what her character would do. Let me explain myself when I say that. Because Cadance's entire thing about her is that she is the embodiment of love. So obviously she would try to find a compromise to satisfy everyone. Celestia and Luna, on the other hand, would be similar to the thing of trying to find a middle ground, because of the fact that they've lived for like thousands of years. Of course, they're going to have the more experienced version look of this, of being like, yeah, these bat creatures are sort of a necessary part of the ecosystem, and yes, you need to learn to accept that, Applejack. They have lived for thousands of years, so they would know this stuff. But the reason this makes sense for Twilight's character is she has the element of friendship, and she hasn't lived as long as any of the other Alicorns, even Cadance. So one, she doesn't have that much experience as being an Alicorn as any of the others, or even being alive as the others. And two, when her friend tells her that there are a bunch of varmints that need to be killed because they're going to kill the crop, I would think she would believe her friend before she believed that the bats were good. Now, yes, Fluttershy, also her friend, was telling her that they were good and kind creatures. But honestly, in Twilight's eyes, I could see why she would believe Applejack's story over Fluttershy's. For one, Fluttershy has been known to be incredibly kind to creatures, even when they are, let's just say, less than kind, I suppose you could say. Like, if a bear was attacking the village, or the little town, I'm pretty sure Fluttershy would be like, oh, don't hurt the poor bear, it wasn't doing anything bad. You get my point. Like, she would defend the animal before anything else. And I think Twilight sees that, and sees that, okay, I think your vision is a bit skewed on these creatures. They're obviously doing a lot of harm, especially if Granny Smith was saying that they were doing harm. So yeah, I would say that Twilight has pretty much the basic logic to see, yes, these vampire fruit bats are dangerous to their crop. We have to solve the problem. But at the same time, I think she was still keeping Fluttershy's feelings in consideration when figuring out a way to get rid of the bats. She chose a non-lethal way to get rid of them. Simply change their feeding habits. Now, the thing is that people have been on and on about this was against Twilight's character. But she did exactly what she was supposed to do in the situation, just from what I see. Just because she was being a loyal friend, she was indeed helping Applejack, keeping Fluttershy's feelings in consideration, and it's not really that big of a leap when you think of her as a character. Now, you may think it is a leap when she is an Alicorn princess and she needs to be more diplomatic, But keep in mind, she has just become one. She has not really been taught all the ins and outs yet. She, for the most part, has just been a very powerful student of Celestia's that has happened to learn the power of friendship. That is about it so far. She hasn't taken on any really high-strung political duties besides perhaps in the opening episodes of this year, or the thing was still basically what she would have done if she was not an Alicorn Princess yet. So I wouldn't be putting the burden of the Alicorn Princess title on her quite yet, considering A, she hasn't been given a kingdom or any real responsibility. It's just really a title, which they have been giving some suggestions here and there about the whole cleaning of the castle things and all that. So maybe she'll be ruling over Ponyville, who knows. But I wouldn't be saying that, ooh, Twilight, you're a horrible character moment in this because you go outside of character. Personally, I think that this does stay within her character a fair amount. And I'm sorry for harping on that so much, but I'm hearing so many people say that this was against her character, but I don't really think it was. Overall, this is an episode that is really interesting and really cool. It has a lot of great effects, especially with the vampire bat Fluttershy moving like in the dark, in the shadows and all this. I really do like this episode, and I would highly recommend it to any brony or non-brony alike. I am the MLP Reviewer 66. Thank you, and good night.